to accept that they might have a problem. Darwin's discovery of natural selection is the first time that a scientific idea subverts one of the principal arguments in favor of God, because it dispenses with the idea of design. Well, his theory has a certain sort of elegance, because wherever you observe life, although its efficiency is undoubtedly startling, the developments are sort of gimcrack.
What are you doing?
Improvised. They're put together without a view to an outcome. In fact, when you come to think of it,
are you digging it, Donald?
Rather unfortunate and misleading, because it makes it look as if something is blundering its way towards a conclusion, whereas nothing is blundering its way towards anything. There's no mentality at work here. There's no conscious object in view. The process, for example, of getting bits and pieces of the jaw of ancient reptiles into the inner ear of modern mammals, bones which enable them to hear, is not one that took place because something foresaw that those bones might come in handy as a hearing device. Hearing simply emerged as an unintended consequence of the unsolicited variations. In Darwin's time, the material basis of heredity was still obscure, and the origin of the variations or novelties upon which natural selection worked remained utterly mysterious. The biologist Richard Dawkins has written at great length about genetics and has committed much of his academic career to answering the questions that arise from Darwin's theory. Something has to explain the novelties themselves.
Yeah. Well, the novelties themselves, of course, are genetic variations in the gene pool, which ultimately come from mutation and more proximally come from sexual recombination. There's nothing very inventive or ingenious about those novelties. I mean, they are random. And they mostly are deleterious. Most mutations are bad. And so you really need to focus on natural selection as the positive side. And it's only natural selection.
You done? No, you're not done? You still got it?
Living
are you done?
Which
no.
Have the illusion of design. The illusion of design does not come from the novelty.
What was it about that early novelty, before it culminated in something as useful as a feather?
Hey, she's done.
Where could natural selection get its purchase upon something which was no more than a pimple?
There cannot have been intermediate stages which were not beneficial. There's no room in natural selection for the sort of foresight argument that says, well, if we go to persist for the next million years and it'll start becoming useful. That doesn't work. There's got to be a selection pressure all the way.
So there isn't a process, as it were, going on in the cell saying, look, be patient.
No.
It's going to be a feather, believe me.
Yes. It doesn't happen like that. There's got to be a series of advantages all the way.
Oh my God.